Hello, and welcome to Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. Today we're going to be working on a photo op frame. Let's get started. Okay, to get started, we're going to need to make a mock-up to build our frame from. So we're going to go to Cutout and Picture. We're going to go to Add a Colored Shape. And it's automatically going to be a dark blue shape. We're going to keep that. Resize it so that it's in a rectangular or frame shape. We're going to click Done. Next, we're going to go back to that same function, Cutout and Picture, add a colored shape. But this time, we're going to change it to white by choosing right here where it says click a color. We're going to click on the white, click Done, and now we're going to resize this white square so that it becomes a white rectangle and it makes our frame outline. Now we can use this to build our frame or photo op frame design off of. Now I want to change this blue rectangle or frame and give it my lemon texture, or the appearance of a lemon texture. So I'm going to click on it to make sure that I've chosen it, and if you see this little ball, you know it's ready to be manipulated or worked with in any way you want. So I'm going to go over here once again to my favorite function, cutouts and picture. I'm going to choose fill cutout and picture, which is the second one here on the bottom. I'm going to go to picture, click that, and then I'm going to go down here and find my texture that I want to use, that I want to change this to, and I'm just going to drag that up and drop it. And you see it instantly makes my frame. So I'm going to go ahead and click Done. Next, I want to show that this is kind of like three-dimensional. So I'm just going to put a shadow around that yellow edge. So now it shows like it's kind of three-dimensional. So I've already made this frame and I've already made all the little graphics I want to add. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how I put it together. I just come down here to my little retriever picture here. And this is the lemon background that I told my customer I was going to use. So I'm going to drag that one up and see if I like it better than this one. Yeah, I like this one better because you can really see the lemon texture. So I'm just going to go ahead and replace the one that's here with this one. And I'll take it behind. And position it just like I want it. Okay, I like that one better because it actually looks like a real lemon skin. And I'm going to go ahead and delete the one behind it. So now I'm just going to, once again, you would have all the pictures that you want to include in your project already open. And I have all of mine actually within this, which is the original that I made to send to the customer. So I'm just going to, in this case, click down and grab the pictures I want. And this is a good way to make your sets because you can use a picture that you already made as long as you leave it in picture it format, and you can just click down and drag those pictures up to your screen to make your plates, to make your cups, and just use the pictures that you want. And basically I'm just going to drag these up. I do want the baby shower in the corner. Shrink that down a little bit. I'm going to also bring up the stroller, and this stroller started out as just a yellow stroller that I found on Google when I did a search. Okay, I have a blank sheet of paper, and now we're going to be working on part 2 of photo out frames. You can make any design you want. I'm just showing you the basics so that you know how to set it up from your mock-up that you might send to your customer. So now we're going to actually print out the pieces that we need to make the frame. I'm going to start out by making 6 sheets of my lemon skin background. So I'm just going to go down to that picture I already have made. I'm going to drag that lemon picture up, that lemon skin, and I'm going to stretch it to fill this whole page because I'm going to cover the whole frame with lemon print. And I'm going to need 6 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this as a JPEG. And I'm going to make it L1. So I'm going to save that. Next, I'm going to bring up a blank sheet of paper. I can close my lemon skin now because I don't need it anymore. I say no. So now I need to bring up my rattle, and I'm just going to oversize it so it'll look good on the frame, and I'm going to move it to that side, and I'm probably can get my crib, my stroller on there too. But first I'm going to switch to the stroller, and I'm going to save all the pieces together. That way I don't have to drag up the gray. I could have done that before, I just didn't. So now I'm putting that all together, and what I think I'll do, sometimes if you have a lot of files open, the program will say that you're running out of space or memory. So I'm just going to turn this into an instant JPEG, and the way I do that is, because you see right now it's just a lot of different pieces, but the way I turn it into an instant JPEG is just to go to cut out a picture with the cookie cutter shape, and then I'm going to just take it right up and place it around that stroller and hit next, and done. And it's going to put it by itself as a separate picture. Okay, so now I've moved this around and put it where I want it because I'm trying to keep maximum page open because I want to drag my stroller up as well. So I'm going to switch to the stroller, and I'm going to take out this white border so that all I have is the stroller, and I can make it as large as I can get it in this space that's available. So I'm going to go to cut out in picture, cut out of picture. I'm going to choose by color selection. I'm going to take this all the way down to 0, and I'm just going to hit the white area. And so you can see it's cut out almost all of the white area. There's a little white edge, but that won't matter because it's enough of it cut out where I'll be able to fit it on my page. So I'm going to hit next, and as you can see, the stroller is kind of whited out because I chose the white edge. But now, instead of keeping the white edge, I'm going to click on select opposite area, and so it'll give me the actual stroller, and it'll leave the white border behind. So I'm going to click this and take the check mark out of put in your cutout in its own picture because I want it to just stay on this page. So I'm going to hit done. It stays on the page, but you see it makes a second layer. So I'm going to delete the bottom layer, and then all I have now is my cutout. So now I'm going to go back to my rattle. I'm going to drag up the stroller, turn it sideways, and I can make it as big as I can get it and fit it on this page. Just kind of play Tetris with it until you get it as big as you can possibly get it. without cutting off any of your other picture. So I think that's going to be perfect. So now that's my second piece that I need. The last pieces that I need are the words. So I'm going to once again go to my new sheet. And what I normally do with this one, I'll just put it on the page. I'm going to grab Welcoming Baby, and I put it on the page. And since my frame, I can make this where it kind of leans over the frame a bit. So I'm going to make it big enough so that it will lean a little bit or go a little bit beyond the edges of my frame. And I'm going to go again to cut out pictures. I'm going to go to cut out of picture. This time I'm going to go to trace on my own, and all I'm going to do is capture this one word like this. Click the green flag. If you need to make an adjustment, if it was too far up, you just click that area. It'll turn pink and just drag it down a little bit. Click the flag one more time. It's showing you that this part is whited out a little, and this is the part I'm cutting out. I'm going to hit done. Then I'm going to move this down, and I'm keeping that portion. And now I'm going to move it over so that I can get baby. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to cut out in pictures, cut out of picture by tracing on my own. And I'm just going to trace around the baby. And it doesn't matter how you do it, because once you take this into the Cricut to cut it out, it's going to take out all the white anyway. So now I have this baby and everything else is whited out, as you can see. I'm going to hit done. Now I'm going to delete this sign completely from this page. So now I have those two words, and I can still fit on some more. So I'm going to go back down to my master file here, and I'm going to drag up congratulations. And I usually want this about the same size. I'm going to hit back arrow. And yeah, that's about the same size. So I'm going to go to Brittany, and I'm going to cut that portion out first. Once again, cut out a picture by tracing on my own. And I'm going to go all the way around Brittany. I think I'll pull it over and get the and as well. Yeah, that'll work. So I'm going to go back in here by tracing on my own, and then I'm going to take out Brittany and hit done. So I'm just going to move this down on top of that for now, because we'll get it later. And now, as you can see, my page it looks like it's too big for me to move it from side to side. So, easy fix. Just zoom out one, and I'm going to shrink it down and get the other two, and then I'll resize them to what I want them to be. So I'm going to go once again to cut out in picture, cut out of picture by tracing on my own. I'm going to grab James. Drag him down, and I'm going to go and get congratulations. Cut out in picture, cut out of picture by tracing on my own. Grab congratulations. Hit done. Get rid of the master file, that one. I'm going to delete it. Then I'm going to bring my Brittany back up so that I know how big to make everything. My congratulations. I'm going to actually put it up here on Brittany so I could see how big I need it. And as I can see, I might have to cut this one again, but it might be okay. I'm going to see. Now that's going to be long for that one. So I'm going to take that to a new page, or I might be able to cut it in half and still fit it on this one. But I'll go ahead and resize the James so that it will be. And a good way to do it is just put it over another letter so that you know that you're getting the right height. So now that will match again when I put it on the sheet, on my frame, I mean. So I'm just going to reposition all of these. Congratulations is the odd man out. It's too big to be on the page. If I cut it up, I might be able to, no, if I cut it up, I think I would run out of space because it's so long. So I don't want to cut it in half and put it in here. So what I'm going to do is, this is how I get around, because if I took this to a new window, it would make it too big. It would make the writing too big, so I wouldn't know how big it was supposed to be. So what I do is I take this one, congratulations, all the way to the bottom. Then I bring in just a white sheet by going to, I bring in a white sheet by going to cut out and picture, add a colored shape, white, done, and then I drag it until it's above the congratulations or whatever I'm trying to hide. I'm going to pull this from corner to corner so that all it's showing is this portion, and I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this as JPEG, and I'm going to say I change it to JPEG. I'm going to change it to JPEG. Save it as L2. Since my first one was L1, so I'm going to save that. And now, since I saved it, I'm going to delete all of these because I've already saved them to a new file name. And now I can cut my I cut my congratulations a little short. So I'm going to redo that. Let me go down here and grab congratulations again. Shrink it down first, then I'm going to cut it out. I don't know how I messed up on that one, but we're going to do it better this time. Alright. So now I have my new congratulations, and I'm going to delete the full message here, and then I'm going to resize this one, and then I'll delete the one behind it. So let me get this all the way over so that it's the same size. Needs to come out a little bit more. Alright, that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. And for this one, I'm going to once again go to cut out a picture by tracing on my own. And I think a good place to cut it would be right here. So I'm going to make a full shape, any kind of shape around it, just to get the portion you want. I'm going to drag that up. And then I'm just going to take this over to there. I don't have to cut it again because I'm going to come down on that U, and I'm just going to go to File, Save As, change that to JPEG, and we're going to make that L3. Save it. And now, last but not least, oh no, we still have one more. We have the baby shower. And now we're going to save our rattle and the stroller. And that's going to be Save As. Switch it to JPEG. And I'm going to save that as L4. And last but not least, I need to save the baby shower. So I'm gonna click on the baby shower, drag it up. And I usually like to make this kind of big, so I'm just gonna stretch it to the full diagonal, just like this. Make sure you don't cut off the shadow so it won't look wonky. Just like that. And I'm gonna save this. File, save as, and that's going to be JPEG. And the file name will be L5. So now we have all the pieces saved that we need for the frame. And what you're going to do is you're going to print 6 pieces of the lemon skin. Then you're going to print all of your pictures. So now we have all the pictures we need. We saved them as a JPEG. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to open up those pictures. They're in here somewhere. There they are. Okay. So now I'm just going to click in each corner. And hit print. And to make sure that my printer is loaded with cardstock, because I cut these in cardstock. If I wanted to do them in the Cricut, which actually I think I prefer to do them in Cricut, so now they'd be ready to print. But I want to cut these out in Cricut because I don't want to cut them out myself. Welcome back. Now I have all of my decorative items cut out with the Cricut, the wording, and the stroller and rattle. And I also have the lemon skin paper that we're going to use to decorate the frame. And all I did was cut the 8.5 and 11, 8.5 by 11 sheets in half. And we're going to use those to be our background on the frame. So I'm going to move those out the way. Now I'll show you how I cut my frame. I like to use the foam core board from the dollar store. So what I did to make this an easy process, I just took a piece of cardstock and I folded it in half and I cut it on my paper cutter to 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches wide, and it's still 11 inches long. And then I use that to make my cuts for the frame. I put it on the edge and I just draw. And I made it nice and long so that I could do it pretty quickly. And then all I have to do is cut around that line, along the lines with my box cutter. And this process, by using just a folded piece of cardstock, is a lot faster than having to measure out where 2.5 is all the way around with your ruler. So this way, it's uniform all the way around. And just like that, I'm ready to start cutting. So now I'm going to get my cutter and I'm going to cut out this inner square, rectangle really, and then I'll keep that for other projects. So now that we have our cutout lines all traced out, I'm going to just cut them with my box cutter. And try to stay on the line because it'll make your frame look that much better when you wrap these sides with your background paper. gonna pop the middle piece out. All right, so now we're done cutting that. And I'm just gonna take my paper, I can move this cutter out the way now. And I'm just gonna take my lemon paper and just place it around the edge to make sure that I do have enough. It looks like I'm going to have plenty. And I think I want to use the lighter, all the lighter pieces. So I'm going to put these darker pieces out and just use all the lighter pieces. I think I like those the best. There's a dark one. Let me take that one out and add in another light one. Find a nice one. I like that one. Okay, so now I have all my pieces for the outer frame, and I'm just going to put these all back together. And cut off one side of the white edge. You could use just plain scissors, or you can use a paper cutter. I'm probably just going to use scissors because since the lemon texture is bumpy and uneven anyway, I can make my pieces fit better by kind of giving them a curvy edge so that they'll blend in well with the one next to it. Actually, I only have to do one side, and then if I need to cut more of it off, I can. I think I'll go ahead and cut off all the, you only have to cut off the side, the short ends, because the long ends will be folded behind the frame. So I'm just cutting out both of the ends. Now if you have a pattern, which sometimes I use a pattern with a repeating print, like stripes, things like that, then of course you'd want to cut it straight. But since I'm doing this with the texture of a lemon, this curviness will work well. And what I do, I use sometimes a glue gun, hot glue gun, or sometimes I use my Recollections tape runner. I think I'll use the tape runner on the front, and then I'll use the hot glue to secure it on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll probably speed up the video on this portion. your line as thin as possible so you won't have a lot of bleed over with the glue. And what I do, I try to put it as close to the edge without going too far, and then if you rub it that way, because the glue is hot and you can still spread it a bit, as I flatten it, it pushes it out to the end without going all the way over and coming out of your seam. So you're just going to continue putting your glue, your hot glue, just along that edge, just a little bit, so that you can make sure that it's all laying down flat, and it'll make your seams more difficult to see. And you can also use this type of frame to, if you wanted to add the person's picture, how you see sometime in the decorating rooms, they have the picture or a character for flowers, different things, and then they just trim it out. That you can do as well. You can still make the square frame like this and then add, superimpose or add your picture on top, or you can actually have the pictures put on first and then just cut out the edges around whatever your characters or decorations are. But I like to do it this way and then put the decorations on. So now I'm going to flip this over to this side, and for my, let me get my cutting board back over here, because for the corners I like to get my cutter. To make my corners, I'm just going to go to the inside corner and just pull it out so that I can pull these pieces up and hot glue it to cover the inside of the frame edge. And I'm just going to do that in each corner. Just go right into that corner and then just pull toward the middle. I put the knife right inside the corner of the foam core. And then what you're going to do, you're just going to, what I normally do, I pull it up and bend it over, pulling it as tightly as I can, and then it makes a crease, and when you come through there with your hot glue, it's easier for you to adhere it because you pre-folded that edge. So now I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and I'm going to run it all the way down here, just like that. And then I'm going to do like I'm pulling on, if I was making a canvas, I pull it on. And it's very forgiving. If you cut some areas a little shorter, you can still pull it over and cover, because this edge is not going to be showing anyway. I should have put it a little closer to the edge. So I'm just going to pull and stick, pull and stick all the way down. cut out everything. I've set it up on the frame the way I want to glue it on, and now I'll start actually attaching the pieces to the frame. For this, I'll probably use the glue gun, the hot glue gun, because it'll be a little faster. So I think I'll start here, and all you do, sometimes I'll make them stand out some, and maybe I'll do that this time. I add a piece of foam core behind, if I have some. So I'll add a piece of foam core behind to give it more of a three-dimensional look. Grab my cutting board. Sit that there. And I'm going to put a piece right down the middle. I don't need it that long, but. And then I'm just going to hot glue this right down the middle of the baby rattle. And then it'll let it stand up a little bit off of the board, off of the frame, and give it more of a three-dimensional look. So now, I'll just put some toward the middle, right there, and then move this over some, and I just stick that there. Maybe I turned it a little more than I want it, but it's easy fix. So now I have the rattle there. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing, make my stroller look a bit three-dimensional, let it stand up some. So I'm going to cut just enough so that it'll be on the board where I stick it. Then I'll need another piece up here. So I'm going to just putting it there so that it'll give it a little bit of a raised appearance. And then I'm going to put a piece here because that also comes in contact with the frame. So now you can see it's lifted off the frame, so it gives it a little more of a 3D effect. I'm going to go ahead and just put some hot glue here and hot glue there, and then put it back on. Now, I'll go ahead and put my baby shower in the corner. I think I want to lift that one too. So I'm just going to take a thin little piece, just put it right there, and cut another thin strip, put it on the baby. And now it'll have a little 3D kind of appearance. I need to put a little more over here. That's why it's good to save your scraps of foam core board, because they come in handy for projects like this. So now that'll stand out a little bit. I'm just going to put some glue on each one of these little pieces of foam core that I have on there. Pull off the strings, and now we have that attached. The baby shower. So we have the main elements attached. Now we're going to get into the wording. And there we have our finished project. The lemon baby shower frame is complete. Once again, you're watching Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. So now we're done with the frame. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe so that you'll be able to see all my videos. And please hit the like button. If you like, hit the bell so that you would be the first one to see my new projects as I add them on YouTube. I also finished out this project with some personalized photo props. If you'd like to learn how to do those in a future tutorial, let me know. These customized and personalized treats finished out my lemon baby shower project.